Esau and the people who are his descendants were God's first choice to be his people. They were his chosen people, and this wasn't intended to change. God hadn't made a mistake. There was no plan to give Esau a twin. The creation of a twin, the creation of Jacob, was a response to an attempt by Satan to usurp the blessing and authority of the chosen people. Satan attempted to place a soul under his authority within the developing Esau. He tried to alter him. His power touched him. This plan was thwarted by God, and Esau was checked thoroughly to ensure that he hadn't been compromised. Nothing could be found that indicated any problem with him, but it was decided that no possible risk could be tolerated when it came to the line of authority of the chosen people. This was the reason for the creation of Jacob. The stark differences between the two indicate that they were twins from separate eggs. Doing this isolated the risk from passing to Jacob, as nothing of the developing Esau passed to him. They developed in tandem, separately. Outside of incarnation, a plan was agreed whereby authority, the birthright, would pass from Esau to Jacob. This plan is what unfolded in the story of the two. The actions of Esau were carefully monitored and decided ahead of time. Esau had been intended to be the true heir, and his descendants the true chosen people of God. But he was placed in a situation where, in order to protect God's plan on earth, he had to give up his birthright, and do so in a manner which would bring him great shame, such that there could never be any doubt that the authority had passed on and would not pass back to him. Esau is a biblical hero. He took the big hit and surrendered his status on behalf of God. Jacob should ask himself if he would do the same if God required such a sacrifice of him. Esau and his descendants are God's A-team. Satan's interference forced God to set aside his intended firstborn. Some of the souls who would have been descendants of Esau were allowed to pass into the pool for Jacob, but a great many remained, and although they were initially dismayed at their loss and the shame they had to bear, they soon realized that they now had the freedom to express the deeper truth of God, long before they would have otherwise been able to do so. I didn't see where these people went, but I did feel their character, their heart. I also saw something of the way they would develop and their behavior, along with the danger they would face. What I was shown was sufficient for me to conclude with certainty that Esau and the people of Edom are among or were the root of the Caucasian people. No other people matched the creativity I saw, or the freedom, the open-mindedness, the tolerance, the justice, the joyful experimentation and non-conformity that I felt in the people of Edom. The ability to cast aside and conquer shame is another key trait. It's no coincidence that the teachings of Christianity found such purchase among the Caucasians, and that this people prospered so greatly. Their hearts were with God. In them is a purity of God's true spirit that has shined forth in their works through variety of expression. They have been a blessing to all people, giving great gifts in an abundance that no other people has come close to matching. The only exception is the gift of the great work being done through the Jews. In the Edomites is a willingness to accept others, to experiment, to explore, and allow freedom. They have a desire to extend fairness and justice to all people, having moved beyond the tribalism that dominates the thinking of many other peoples. The blessing Esau received required him to serve his brother and live by the sword. But it also states that when he decides to break free, he will shake the yoke from his neck. Edom is free if the Edomites choose to be free. Perhaps with a little courage from those who understand. Once Edom is free, the Edomites must remember to forsake vengeance and embrace forgiveness, lest the prophecy of Obadiah come to pass. Many aspects of that prophecy apply today to the Caucasian people. Edom is very much under attack by unconventional means. Our military might, the might of the sword, blinds us to the danger we face, and we risk being brought down from our high place. Many people who eat bread with Edom now do so with hatred in their hearts, waiting for the day their snare snaps shut. A snare that most Edomites do not see, and their wise people can scarcely be found. These plots and snares are the reason for Edom's decline. The Edomites are greatly hated and are of such a good nature that they have even been convinced to hate themselves. Someone works to weaken them. Edom must shake the yoke from his neck, heal, and champion peace. Remember that the brothers were reconciled in the end. This theme must repeat so that the negative prophecy of Obadiah need not come to pass. We must see the face of God even in our enemies. In Israel's time of trouble, a free Edom must choose to come to his aid. That is the way things should be. All the best.